Mr. Hill, the floor is yours.
I appreciate this. I guess I get 3 minutes, right? It's been a rough couple weeks with the voice, but we'll see how it goes. It's my pleasure and honor to present the 2021 budget this morning. I would be remiss in not thanking the team. This team effort is led by the CFO, Joe Mondoro. Joe's not a person that likes to take a lot of credit. Christina Jackson, Phil Hagan, Joe LaHate, Martha Reed, Albana Azanoff. The team is also comprised of Alicia Seard, Dana Thompson, Kim Panzer, Marika Hannum, Katie Horseman, and many members of the DMB staff that I did not address today. I want to thank them all for allowing us to get to this point this morning. I'll clap for you. All right. Are you, who's advancing the slide? You are? Okay. Thank you. The budget focus on the priorities as indicated in the budget guidance by the Board of Supervisors. Priority outcome areas as identified during the strategic planning process tie in nicely with existing board priorities. This should allow for a smooth transition as we move to build the budget with the new strategic plan as our backbone. The budget will be built with existing limited revenue options, likely for FY 2020. That look will be very different. Based on the equalization only and the impact of the above homeowner, I need to present to you an increase of real estate property tax of 3 cents, $1.18 per 100 of assessed value. The homeowner, with the additional 3 cents, the impact will be $346. If you want to break it down by penny, it's $58.03 per penny. Each penny in our assessed value is $26,490,000. This proposal does not fully fund schools' request. It leaves a difference of $4 million. Anticipated additional funding from schools, we assume, will come from the House amendments provided at $9.7 million more than the schools assumed in their advertised budget. This budget also includes 177 new positions. Why do we need a county-wide strategic plan? The Fairfax County does not lack for plans or initiatives or community engagement. The Fairfax County has a rich history of working collaboratively with the community to address a multitude of issues. The plans listed on this page are examples of such work. The challenge has always been to prioritize those plans and align the efforts. If you add up the initiatives and all the plans on this page, it is over 1,250 initiatives, and this does not include all the departmental plans. In my humble opinion, it's very difficult to effectively prioritize and manage. Everyone is rowing hard, but are we all rowing in the same direction? Our goal with this plan is to create a greater focus and direction based on community-defined priorities. For example, what is our long-term vision? What are the greatest challenges and opportunities? What does success look like and how will we measure it? We need a shared vision, a shared definition of success, and a roadmap for us all. The purpose of the plan is to provide the county that focus, a clear and unified vision, an alignment and integration of previous work, a tool to prioritize work, and a roadmap to move forward, a platform to share results, and ultimately hold ourselves accountable. Several principles were adopted to guide our planning work. Community engagement. Hear from all the voices, especially from the underrepresented parts of our county. List some of the efforts: 6 large town hall meetings, postcard surveys to all households, multicultural advisory councils, multiple languages, remove barriers to participation, community resource centers, social media, Fairfax County Public Schools, boards and commissions, EDA, philanthropic, higher education, all involved. Focus on the community outcomes as government-centric measures. You will see that our metrics are based on measuring those outcomes versus county governmental actions. Strategies and actions need to be based on evidence and data. What does the evidence show? How will it show our work? Consistent with the Board of Supervisors resolution, apply a racial and social equity lens to all of our work. For example, we specifically described how the different metrics can be disaggregated by location, zip code, or census tract, and by population, age, gender, and race, income level, to better understand the equity to our actions. This is the process and the major milestones to arrive at this point. To highlight a few of the points, work on the plan began in earnest in January of 2009 with a very robust outreach and engagement effort that I will touch upon in the next slide. Initial outreach concluded in March and provided us with the 9 priority areas. These findings were presented to the board during the late March 2019 Budget Committee meeting, and the board concurred with proceeding with developing a plan based on these priority areas. Specific strategies and metrics were developed and reviewed with the community through the summer. Based on community and stakeholder input, final draft strategies and metrics were developed through the fall and winter. We are now here to present the plan to you today. Extensive community and stakeholder engagement. Some data on our initial outreach, great alignment among the different groups. We asked several big questions. What is your vision for the future? Planning horizon of 10 to 20 years. What does the county do well, and where do we need to improve? And what actions would you prioritize over the next 3 to 5 years to move our vision forward? The outcome of this effort was a creation of 9 priority areas and 7 cross-cutting themes. These priorities were brought to the board last spring. Based on the board's concurrence, staff proceeded with developing a draft plan. Teams were organized for each of the priority areas. The one thing I will have to say about this draft plan and the priority outcome areas, succession management was my focus. Succession management was the board's focus. Succession management was the team's focus. Growing our next level of leaders. Each department had opportunities to bring forward talent to this process. Fairfax County Board of Supervisors. This approach has retained many and will bring more to come as we continue to pushing our needle forward. $200 staff working in strategic planning while also assuming their daily duties. They also did their daily duties, and at night, in the morning, they still worked on the strategic plan. And I want to personally thank them again for their hard work to get us here today. We will have an interactive website running once we have completed this presentation. Special thanks to Greg Lucamelli for that amazing interactive website of the proposed strategic plan. So recommended next steps. Staff recommends for the next steps include that the Board of Supervisors include the strategic planning in their engagement with community members regarding the budget. The board is directing the strategic plan to conduct community meetings specifically on the strategic plan across the county. The board incorporates input relative to adjustments to the strategic plan The board adopts the strategic plan as updated along with the budget, and the Board of Supervisors determining the strategic plan priorities for the next 3 to 5 years as part of the fiscal 21-22 budget. Now I move on to the budget. The national economy. You know, yesterday the stock market tumbled among pandemic illness and things that are going on in our country. Perfect timing for all to prioritize our future, in my opinion. The GDP has increased to 2.3%, which is down from 2.9% last year. Factors that could impact the future performance of the economy include, as you can see on the slides, uncertainty related to the November 2020 U.S. election, tensions related to U.S.-China trade war, global economic weakness, Federal Reserve monetary policy, and again, the coronavirus that is affecting the coronavirus and the effects of a potential global epidemic. Our local economy, as of June 2019, the latest number we have at the county level, the estimated number of jobs in the county totals 629,749. That's the highest employment level ever in this county. Our local economy is doing well. The question is, what are we going to do to ensure that we can continue to have it continue to purr? Revenue projections. I have a pretty bad cold, so I'm trying to hold it together, guys, so I apologize. This is when Joe Mondero is supposed to start talking.
I'll certainly start talking as you use the Kleenex. So as we start looking at the specifics of the budget and the revenue growth changes that we're projecting for FY21 and 22, you can see on slide 18 the chart that we show every year that shows the fluctuation from year to year. You'll see for FY 2021, our projection is an increase of 3.5% overall for general fund revenue. It's important to note that without the tax rate recommendation that's included in the county executive's budget, that growth rate would only be 2.3%. And that's what's driving the need for that recommendation as we start talking about the expenditure side and what's the priorities that are being funded as part of the county executive's budget.
As we go to slide 19, thank you, sir. The county relies primarily on real estate tax to fund county needs. Over 66% of our general fund revenue is derived from real estate taxes. Other major revenue sources are personal property tax, sales tax, and BPOL. As illustrated on the chart, in recent years we experienced an increase in investment interest revenue as a result of the Federal Reserve increasing the Fed rates. However, the Fed cut rates 3 times in 2019, which immediately resulted in decreased revenue that the county is projected to generate from this category. Last year, the real estate base increased 3.6% for fiscal 21. It's increasing slightly higher at 3.76%. If the increase was the same as last year, 3.60, it would have resulted in $5 million less in tax levy. Excuse me. The residential market. For fiscal year 2020, Land Development Services is projected to issue building permits for over 3,000 single-family or multifamily dwelling units. These numbers are higher than last year, which were 2,855, but lower than the numbers seen in fiscals 2017 and 18, respectively 3,872 and 3,982. Most of these changes have been due to the slowdown of multifamily permits issues, as single-family permits have shown the most consistent growth. Residential equalization. we have asked DTA about the number of units in each category. Single-family dwelling units, 192,242, 192,242, or 57% of your base are single-family dwelling units. Duplexes equate to 25%, or 85,478 units. Condos are 53,189 units, or 15.8%. Residential properties comprise approximately of 73% of your total base. Non-residential real estate, the amount of office space, empty office space has significantly declined. After the year 2019, office development continued around metro stations in the Silver Line Corridor and other areas of the county. 8 office buildings totaling more than 2.7 million square feet were under construction in 3 submarkets, Reston, Chantilly, and Springfield, as of December of 2019. This includes the Reston Gateway, includes the TSA headquarters in Springfield. The amount of new space delivered in 2019 was slightly more than 600,000 square feet, with an expectation of 1.2 million square feet of deliveries in fiscal 2020. Office leasing activity totaled over 9 million square feet at the end of 2019. As has been the case for the past several years, most of the leasing activity during 2019 involved government renewals and metro-adjacent relocations. Non-residential equalization. Regarding the hotels, the primary reason for the fluctuation, larger than normal increases in the valuation of hotels in 2019 and FY 2020 was DTA's effort to align with hotel industry in terms of how we categorized each hotel. For example, luxury, full service, limited service, select service. DTA selections for expense and capitalization rates were adjusted to correspond with these categories, resulting in an overall increase in hotel assessments. Sales of hotels in these years also supported the changes. For fiscal 21, the change in hotel assessments is more representative of actual hotel economics, and this will be the case moving forward. So I want to thank Jay Doshi and his team to get this process moving forward. Our budget summary. Fiscal 21 was built with an equal growth between the counties and the schools, 3.65%. Adjustments other than those for county compensation and debt service are categorized by the strategic plan priority outcome areas, which we'll go over shortly. Prioritizing our investment for the future. County compensation. 2.06% is our market rate adjustment. Based on a calculation approved by the board, and includes the following components. Consumer Price Index for the Washington, Arlington, Alexandria area, 40%. Employment Cost Index, 50%, and federal wage adjustment for Washington, Baltimore area at 10%. General county performance longevity increases. Performance increases range from 3% for employees with 15% of the bottom of the pay scale to 1.25% for employees within 25% of the top of the pay scale. And 4% longevities for those who reach 20 or 25 years of service. The average increase in fiscal 21 is 2%. Uniform public safety merit longevity increases. Funding reflects the full year impact of increases provided to uniform employees in fiscal 21 and the partial year increases provided to uniform employees in fiscal 20, since all increases are effective on the employee's anniversary date. Public safety employees who had reached a length of service of 15 and 20 years milestones have reached the top step of their scale and are eligible for longevities. Merit and longevity increases are each 5% for public safety employees. In any given year, between 40 and 50% of public safety employees are eligible for one or the other. As a result, the average increase is approximately 2.25% for public safety. County debt service. The county achieved its lowest interest rate for new money bond deal in the county's history at 2% in this past January. The county board bond referendum plan includes $25 million for early childhood facilities in fall of 2020. This slide shows the next 4 years of bond referendums that we will be moving forward. It showcases not only the county but also the schools. Housing and neighborhood livability, one of the 9 strategic planning areas. I want to thank Chris Caperton from DPD, who led this effort. When combined with the new penny dedicated to affordable housing, new resources for housing and neighborhood livability total $27.2 million in FY 2021.
And just real quickly, if we want to go to slide 30, the lifelong education and learning priority area, which represents the single largest of the priority areas in terms of funding for FY21, includes sort of our traditional presentation for the transfer to schools, both for operating and for the capital side, which includes debt service, as well as the school construction funding. In addition, we're looking at the county side of the ledger as it relates to lifelong education and learning priority area to identify other support for that priority area that moves us forward. And as an example, a number of the items that are represented for FY 2021 include expansion of school readiness in terms of additional slots, but more importantly, I think, the identification, as the county executive mentioned on the previous slide, of a recommendation for $25 million in bond funding starting in fall of 2020, and then every other year for 4 years to total $100 million over that time period to build the classrooms that are necessary for early childhood. As we talked about at the retreat, as we've talked about at other times, in order to have success in providing slots for kids in need of early childhood, we need to have the classroom space. And so this investment in classroom space at facilities on both the county side and the school side is designed to provide the ability for us in future years to expand much more dramatically the number of slots. 72 is a nice dent, but it's not nearly significant enough to move us forward. So again, the 2021 budget focus starts the conversation relative to facilities. In addition, just to mention some work that's going to start to be done between the county and schools to try to provide some more flexibility on the school construction side is look at how we allocate our stormwater dollars in construction projects. We mention here on this slide schools, but it's broader than that. It identifies the need, as the board has heard in recent months, to look at funding for the significant storm impacts that we've been seeing, for the adjustments needed at Lake Accotink, and so it'll more broadly look at the options relative to stormwater, but we wanted to call it out specifically for schools on this lifelong education and learning slide, because it will potentially in future years provide more flexibility for school construction within the existing allocation of school bonds.
I want to thank Joe Monduro because I skipped 4 slides there, so I just want to say thank you to Joe. And I also want to thank team lead Carla Hardy from the JDRC for leading the lifelong education and learning, as well as Marty Smith, who with the school district was a key component in that category. So thank you, sir. What's next? Housing and neighborhood. Okay. This is the slide I started off with Chris Caperton and thanking Chris in DPD. I do want to apologize for getting ahead of the slides. Housing and livability, 3 positions. When combined with the new penny dedicated to affordable housing, new resources for housing and neighborhood livability totals $27 million for fiscal 2021. Again, special thanks to team lead Chris Caperton for leading that effort in our strategic planning process. Safety and security. The implementation of body-worn camera program. It was approved by the board at September 24th, 2019 meeting. Positions for South County represent half of the positions that were anticipated to be added for 2021. Another 8 sworn positions will be added to fiscal 22, with civilian staff added in fiscal 23. South County is projected to open December of 2022, which is fiscal year 2023. And we also have Scotts Run Fire Station number 44 projected to open in January of 2021. $9.7 million has been allocated to safety and security. That's 51 positions, and I want to thank Kim Panzer from DMB for being the team lead on safety and security. Health and environment, $8.86 million, 60 positions. Investments to continue the multi-year efforts for Diversion First and Opioid Task Force. Additional school health positions represent the first year in a multi-year plan to increase the number of public health nurses to meet county programs' target of 1 public health nurse per every 2,000 students. A total of $1.3 million in environmental projects is included, an increase of $380,000. 2 fiscal year 2021 projects were selected based on a process supported by the Environmental Quality Advisory Council, EQAC. I'd like to thank Vicki Anglin and Public Works for leading this effort for health and environment. Mobility and transportation. It's 4 positions and $4,720,000. As the Metro budget will not be finalized until the spring of 2020, the county subsidy requirement for fiscal 21 adopted WMATA operating expenses will be incorporated as part of the fiscal 2021 budget. An add-on process, if possible, or the fiscal 2020 carryover review will help with our difference. The student bus program is a great example of county and school cooperation. This program, which provides free access to Fairfax City Q bus service for all Fairfax County middle and high school students, and Metro bus access to students at Justice High School, now serves approximately 15% of all students, with additional growth expected. I'd like to thank Greg Freed from the Fairfax County Police Department for leading the mobility and transportation team. Empowerment and support for residents facing vulnerability, $3,270,000. We have 13 positions requested. FY21 represents the first year of the next 2-year cycle for consolidated community funding pool. About a $500,000 increase represents a 5% increase. Opportunity Neighborhoods is proposed to be expanded into Centerville and Chantilly area of Human Services Region 4 as part of this budget. Additional support for persons with development disabilities is included, including additional support coordinators and funding for self-directed services. It is anticipated that the employment and day services for the June 2020 special education grads will be accommodated through Medicaid waivers or existing resources. I'd like to thank Steve Hartman from Fire and Rescue and Elisa Lewick from Neighborhood Community Services for being the team leads for empowerment and support for residents facing vulnerabilities. Cultural and recreational opportunities. $2,910,000, excuse me. 13 positions proposed. The expansion of library hours is the first year of a 3-year plan. This funding will move 11 of the 22 locations to one set of standardized hours. 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. The admission tax is projected to generate $2.3 million in FY21. Partial year, the full year impact is about $3 million. Over the $2.3 million total, $1.5 million will be replaces general fund dollars for contributions to Arts Fairfax, the Fairfax Symphony, and Wolf Trap. Approximately $500,000 represents additional funding in the Arts Fairfax, partially for arts grants. $350,000 represents additional funding to Visit Fairfax on top of the $100,000 increase resulting from increases to TOT, Transit Occupancy Tax revenues. The Visit Fairfax component is noted on the following slide. Before I move on, I'd like to thank Lloyd Tucker from Neighborhood Community Services for leading the cultural and recreational opportunities. Economic opportunity. SAC funding reflects three new rooms, 2 rooms at Clearview Elementary School due to a renovation, and 1 room at the Northwest County Elementary School, which is scheduled to open for 2021 school year. The Economic Opportunity Reserve, also mentioned in 2 slides, is fully funded as part of this budget. The balance is $46,250,000. Of the $46 million, $2.6 million will be allocated by the board to specific projects. $31 million will be available for projects for the current fiscal year, and $12 million represents new funding that will be available for fiscal 2021. I'd like to thank EDA member A.D. Brosp for running economic opportunities. Effective and efficient government. These adjustments address lease and facility maintenance requirements. Additional support is provided for the Office of Elections for software licensing and maintenance of voting equipment. We expect to provide additional one-time funding as a part of the FY20 third quarter review for elections as they prepare for the November 20 election. Sarah Brinkmiller from OSM was the lead of this team, and I want to thank her for leading effective and efficient government. Reserves. As a part of the fiscal 21 budget, reserves are projected to reach the 10% level, as established by the Board of Supervisors in fiscal 2015. Reduction is based on a lower level of disbursement growth in fiscal 21 than in the prior year, and its projected interest income also contributes to the reserve levels. As we look forward, continued cross-pollination of ideas creates greater opportunities for our success. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to provide you a proposed budget based on the board guidance. I'm also proud and poised for our team to incorporate the strategic plan priority areas as we look forward into the fiscal 2022 and beyond. At this time, I'll take any questions.